Okay, everybody. Here we go. So our review on Chapter 4, which is all about functions. Number 1, talk 2 and 3 talks about domain. We know we can't divide by 0, and we cannot have the square root of a negative number. So on number 1, x cannot be 4, because if x is 4, you're going to end up dividing by 0. So the domain is all real numbers, except for x cannot equal 4. 2, you can't have the square root of a negative number. So I set this to make sure it's greater than or equal to 0, solve for x. If x is greater than or equal to negative 5, we're okay. Anything less than negative 5, we're going to divide by a negative, or square root of a negative number. That's not good. So the domain is simply x is greater than or equal to negative 5. On 3, I need to factor the denominator. It's just much more easy. It's easier if I do. So x cannot equal 4, and x cannot equal negative 2. So domain is all real numbers, except x cannot equal 4 or negative 2. Number 4, we got our piecewise graph. I'll bring that into play. My piecewise graph is here. So the first thing I like to do is get my boundaries at negative 7, negative 3, negative 2, positive 2 at 6. So put the boundaries in first, okay? Then my first equation is y equals 3. Straight across horizontal line at 3. However, it's only within this region between negative 7 and 3. Second equation, x squared minus 6 is a parabola. At negative 7, I drew my parabola. And then it's only within this region between negative 3 and 2. And finally, my line, which I have to start on the y-axis, have to, 2 and down 1 over 2, down over 2, only exists between 2 and 6, okay? Now, they're not connected. They don't have to be, okay? That's just the way that is. Domain. The domain is between, how wide is it? Between negative 7 and 6. And the range is from negative 6 all the way up to 3, okay? Domain range. Number 5. So number 5, if I have a negative, makes it upside down, reflects over the x-axis, and twice as tall. So I stretched it, and I made it go upside down, okay? And then on the second part, I took and looked at, where is that second? Oh, here it is. F of 2x means I have to get two curves, so it makes it half as wide. Two curves in the same as one, so I just brought it all in, took all of the widths and brought them in half as wide, okay? Number 5a, f of 0, okay? F of 3, I go to 1, 2, 3, the answer is 0. F of negative 4, I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, the answer is negative 2. G of 1 plus G of negative 1, F of negative 1 is, G of negative 1 is 1, F of negative 1 is 0, so you add the two values and you get 1, okay? I did D and I did E, okay? 6, we're going to put 1 inside the other, so I did 6 on a separate sheet of paper. Let's see if I can find 6. Oh, here's 6, okay? So G of F of 6, so put 6 goes into F. 6 goes here. 6 minus square root of 6 minus 5 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. Then take that answer and put it into G. So I put 1 into G. So I put 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 6 is 8, okay? H of negative 2, so I put negative 2 in for H. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Then I take that answer, put it in G. So I took my 5 and put it in G. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 6 is 16. Okay, C. I'm going to put 21 into F. So I put 21 to F. Okay, so then I get 21 minus 5 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. Then I put that into H. Okay, H, I go 4 squared plus 1 is 17. Then I put that answer into G. 2 times 17 is 34 plus 6 is 40, okay? Now, on this one, you're going to put all of f of x into h. So all of this goes into h. So instead of x squared, it's just going to be square root of x minus 5 into x, okay? So I put that into x. Squares cancel the square. And I have an x minus 5 plus 1, which is simply just going to be an x minus 4. Okay? And then, let's see, that was 6, 7. Let's see what 7 was. Oh, yeah, 7 is this graph. Where is that graph? Oh, here it is. Right graph 7. Sorry, I'm a little bit, oh, there's 7. Okay, so first of all, an x squared minus 7. I did not draw the back half. So this parabola really does look like this, but by my domain change, I only graphed the front half of this, the positive half of this graph, so that I can have an inverse. So I took the values of the coordinates of my parabola, I switched them around, and graphed my inverse, okay? So there's my graph of my inverse. And then I needed the equation, so I switched x and y to get my inverse equation. I solved, I added 7, I square rooted, so the inverse is just the square root of x plus 7, okay?
Attention students and staff.
Finally at 8.
We will be doing a hard lockdown drill. Again, at this time, we are going to be
at 8, you can see the values there. Hard lockdown, of course, while I'm trying to record. Anyway, what I have, if you can hear me far away, just real quick. There we go. So it's Pythagorean theorem, and I graphed it on my calculator. It's a hard lockdown of all things, right? Graph, there it is. And I found my minimum. There's my time in hours. I multiplied by 60. I got time, and that's my distance. So that's about it. I'm in hard lockdown, so I'm going to have to turn this off.